Have you ever wondered why some men effortlessly command respect from women while others struggle to be taken seriously? The painful truth is that respect isn't given, it's earned through consistent behavior and character. And if you're not getting the respect you deserve from the woman in your life, it might be because you're unknowingly sabotaging yourself. Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 most common respect-killing behaviors that men engage in, why they're so destructive, and exactly how to fix them. This isn't about manipulation or games, it's about becoming the kind of man who naturally commands respect through authentic masculine strength. The frustrating reality is that most men don't even realize they're undermining their own position in relationships. They wonder why their girlfriend or wife seems increasingly dismissive, argumentative, or even contemptuous, never connecting it to specific behaviors they're exhibiting day after day. The good news? Once you identify these patterns, you can break them almost immediately, and the results can be transformative. Let's dive into respect killer number 1, constantly seeking her approval. This is perhaps the most insidious respect destroyer because it seems so innocent on the surface. After all, isn't it good to care what your partner thinks? Of course, but there's a critical difference between valuing her opinion and needing her validation for every decision you make. When you're constantly asking, "What do you think?" or "Is this okay?" about trivial matters, you're not being considerate, you're displaying insecurity. You're showing her that you don't trust your own judgment even on the smallest issues. Every time you defer to her on decisions you should be capable of making yourself, you're signaling that you don't see yourself as competent or capable. And if you don't view yourself that way, why should she? I worked with a client named Mark who couldn't understand why his girlfriend of 2 years had become increasingly cold and dismissive. During our sessions, I noticed he couldn't even decide where we should meet for coffee without texting her first. "I just want to make sure she approves," he explained. But what Mark didn't realize was that this constant need for approval was precisely what was killing her attraction and respect. Here's the solution: start making decisions confidently without seeking her approval on every little thing. This doesn't mean becoming inconsiderate or domineering, it means trusting yourself enough to say, "I've made reservations at that new Italian place for Friday," instead of "Where do you want to go? Is Italian okay? What time works for? Is Friday good?" Begin with smaller decisions and work your way up. Notice how she responds when you confidently state a plan rather than asking for permission. In most cases, women find this quiet confidence incredibly attractive. They want a partner, not another child to supervise. And remember, this isn't about controlling the relationship, it's about controlling yourself and developing the self-trust that naturally commands respect. Respect killer number 2, inconsistency between your words and actions. Nothing destroys a woman's respect faster than a man who doesn't follow through on what he says. This inconsistency signals that you either don't value your own word or worse, that you're deliberately deceptive. Either way, it's respect poison. Think about it. Would you respect someone who consistently promises things but rarely delivers? Of course not. So why would she? Whether it's claiming you'll start a fitness routine, then never going to the gym, promising to handle household responsibilities, then forgetting, or saying you'll be somewhere at a specific time but always running late, these patterns telegraph that your word means very little. This inconsistency creates a credibility gap that widens with each broken promise or unfulfilled declaration. But eventually, she stops believing anything you say, and once that happens, respect becomes almost impossible to recover. She begins to see you as unreliable at best and dishonest at worst. The fix here is straightforward but requires discipline. Simply say what you mean and do what you say. Before making any promise or statement of intent, ask yourself, am I absolutely committed to following through on this? If not, don't say it. It's better to underpromise and overdeliver than the reverse. Start rebuilding your credibility by making only commitments you know you can keep, then keeping them without exception. This might mean making fewer promises initially, but each one you fulfill rebuilds trust. Over time, this consistency becomes a cornerstone of your character, and her respect will naturally follow. Remember, respect is built on predictability and reliability. When your actions consistently match your words, you become a man she can count on, and that's someone she can respect. Respect killer number 3, emotional reactivity. Few things undermine respect faster than a man who can't maintain emotional equilibrium under pressure. When you react disproportionately to minor frustrations, explode in anger over small issues, or collapse into despair at the first sign of challenge, you're demonstrating a lack of emotional self-regulation that women find deeply unattractive. This doesn't mean you should never show emotion, quite the opposite. Emotional authenticity is essential in relationships. But there's a crucial difference between healthy emotional expression and emotional volatility. The former comes from a place of strength and self-awareness, the latter from insecurity and lack of control. I coached a successful executive named James who couldn't understand why his relationships consistently failed after about 6 months. During our work together, I discovered that despite his professional accomplishments, James would become visibly agitated and defensive at the slightest criticism from his partners. What he saw as standing up for himself, they experienced as emotional immaturity and insecurity. No matter how successful he was in other areas, this emotional reactivity made it impossible for women to maintain respect for him. The solution is developing what psychologists call emotional regulation, the ability to experience strong feelings without being controlled by them. This starts with awareness. Begin noticing your emotional triggers and the physical sensations that accompany them. When you feel that familiar tightness in your chest or heat in your face, that's your cue to pause before responding. Practice techniques like deep breathing, mental reframing, or even temporarily removing yourself from heated situations until you've regained composure. Remember, responding thoughtfully is strength, reacting impulsively is weakness. The goal isn't to suppress your emotions, but to process them in a way that demonstrates maturity and self-control. A man who can remain calm and measured during conflict or challenge communicates immense inner strength. He shows that he's governed by his values and judgment, not by his impulses or insecurities. This kind of emotional stability is profoundly attractive to women because it signals that you're capable of providing security even when life gets difficult. Now, let's talk about implementing these changes. The first step is honest self-assessment. Which of these 3 respect killers resonates most with you? Where do you see yourself in these patterns? Don't be defensive, be curious. Personal growth starts with acknowledging where you currently stand. Second, focus on progress, not perfection. You won't transform overnight, and that's okay. What matters is consistent movement in the right direction. Notice when you slip into old patterns, adjust, and continue moving forward. Each small improvement builds momentum toward the man you're becoming. Third, understand that these changes aren't about becoming someone you're not. They're about removing the behaviors that prevent people from seeing who you truly are at your best. The strength, decisiveness, and emotional stability I'm describing aren't artificial. They're already within you, simply waiting to be uncovered and developed. Remember that earning a woman's respect isn't about specific techniques or strategies. It's about embodying qualities worthy of respect. When you demonstrate self-respect through your boundaries, integrity through your consistency, and strength through your emotional stability, her respect will follow naturally. The most powerful part of this transformation is that it extends far beyond romantic relationships. These same qualities command respect in professional settings, social circles, and every other area of life. By addressing these 3 respect killers, you're not just becoming more attractive to women, you're becoming a more effective, influential, and fulfilled man overall. So which of these 3 areas will you focus on improving first? The decision is yours, but the important thing is to begin. Every journey toward becoming a better man starts with a single step. Take that step today and watch as the respect you desire and deserve naturally follows. What's been your experience with these respect killers? Have you noticed how addressing them has changed the way women respond to you? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on building stronger relationships through authentic masculine development.